Test 1 2.
All right, good morning. It's April 7th, Thursday, about 8:20 a.m. Central, just 10 minutes before the open. I'm going to look at some levels and numbers here, and I'll be back right at the open. All right, I'm back and we're watching the open here. So you'll notice the red line and the green line on the left. That just denotes our overnight price action. I'm going to go ahead and mark the first minute of trade. We just refer to that as the opening range. So I'll be highlighting once this bar is done. This is the minute chart here, highlighting this area. A lot of indecision yesterday. The minutes came out and just back and forth, and here we are just right in the middle, hanging above that 65 level, but we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so here's the first minute of trade so far. So this is our opening range. We're going to let the market settle in, see what it wants to do, try to get some clues and cues from it, and make a decision from there. We don't have any news this morning, and And we'll be paying attention to the tempo of the market, how fast or slow it's moving, how responsive it is at certain levels. We'll keep our daily chart in view and in mind. That's our 30,000 foot view, kind of the bigger picture overall what the market's doing. Pardon me. So yesterday morning I mentioned 56, and looking at the price action from yesterday, we can see, especially looking at a 5-minute chart, that 56 to kind of 57 level was definitely support through most of the day. Broke it, came down. So it's hard for me to tell right now. I don't really have a bias one way or the other. Just because when we look at the daily chart, yesterday was a doji. So, here's a day of indecision. Balance is right in the middle. We swung back and forth pretty wildly. So, a day like today, I've just got to wait and see what pans out. Wait and see what makes sense, risk to reward, and then pull the trigger from there. Excuse me. NASDAQ looking to be the stronger of the two right now. S&P 500 is right in between, as you can see, range, overnight high, overnight low. NASDAQ is a lot closer to the top of its overnight range. If I drag NASDAQ, here's the 15-minute chart on NASDAQ. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. So here's the 15-minute NASDAQ chart here, where it's getting a lot closer to the top of its range. it's this was a little tricky for me just because of yesterday's erratic movement. So it's a little bit more difficult when we've got like a higher high and a lower low than a higher high here. We do have a higher low down here on the 15 minutes, so that's something to consider. But it's just a little bit harder for me to read as far as what the market may want to do. The NASDAQ looks similar as well. Excuse me. And a lot of times I function under the false premise that if I'm not just lightning quick, I'm going to miss a trade. And in actuality, a lot of my trades take, boy, I'll get an idea. It might be 10, 15, even 20 minutes before the setup happens. So I'll be watching the market, kind of get an idea. And then once it comes to my level of execution of either buying or selling, even then, at that time, I've usually got about a minute or two to execute and to pull the trigger to make the trade. So, and then from there, trade time for me, trades that work out well often get going in my direction within 10 to 15 minutes. It's not all the time and every time, but more times than not, when I'm in a trade and it's working well for me and it's something that I usually can see some forward momentum to it within a rather quick amount of time. Average hold time for me is, anywhere from about 10 minutes to 30 minutes. It may be longer sometimes if I have on a runner, and if I feel really good about the level that I'm in at, I might choose to let it run and give it till an hour or two or till the end of the day. And it's usually a small piece. That last runner is usually 15 to 10% of my overall size, so it's kind of small. Just at that point, it's free money. It's the house's money that I'm playing with. So I'm just sitting back this morning. I'm thinking about a long, but not pulling the trigger just yet. We'll see what wants to take place here, what's going to take place. We don't have any economic data coming out. We've got natural gas report in a little bit here, but no data. And I thought about getting short on that last one where we've got this spike on the 1 minute. We came up and then sold off. So we'll watch and see what price does. And again, this is just kind of a wonky day where we've got a lot of back and forth movement, probably longer time frame traders trading here as well. So we could have some bigger moves that are a bit more erratic. Okay, no big ideas just yet. I did, when this one came up here and then failed, I thought about, oh, it looks weak. I wonder if we'll push lower. Thought about a short, a little bit too quick for my reflexes on that one. So just gotta accept where I'm at. So looking at the 15-minute here, just got some indecision for sure. NASDAQ doesn't look too different really. Just a lot of back and forth, a lot of wicks in here where we've got some kind of impetuous buying and selling. So I'm just gonna sit back, kind of see what's developing, see what the market wants to do. And if it's not clear yet, it will become clear. It will become clear. We just got to give it some time. Still not seeing anything just yet. It's 8:55. Looking like there might be a long setup. So we've come down now to this level a few times, around 65. Come down to it, up, down to it, back up. Tried on this bar to come down to it, holding it. So I might look for a long opportunity, but not just yet. If I get long, I'll be looking to get long on a pullback. I will update and inform when I'm looking to do so. All right, so far we've got kind of some back and forth on the 1 minute. 5 minute 2 is just a little indecisive, where we've got coming down to this level, getting up here, coming back down here. See if we can hold this and push higher. Feels like there's a chance that we'll hold this and then push higher. So 80 to 82, that's kind of our level of resistance that it needs to get through to show some strength. Oh, that's a while yet. All right. All right, just another little over a minute until our new 15-minute bar is formed, or until a new one starts, I should say. as usual, I'm not in a hurry this morning. I will take the trade when it comes to me, when it sets up. So Nasdaq's right. It's getting real close to its overnight high. Yes, S&P has a little bit of ways to go to get there. Okay, Nasdaq is there. It's at its overnight high. So 86 is important, 80 is important. So right now, looking at it, here's the 5-minute here. We've got 86, this level, and about 80 to 82. It's important. So Nasdaq just came up to its overnight high, selling off. So it's no surprise that S&P is doing the same. In order for me to get long, I'd want to see us come down here, hold somewhere where we're holding higher above this level, and at some point in here, look to go ahead and push up. Up to the mid-90s, up to this overnight high level. This would definitely be my first target to take off profit up here if we can get up there. So it may happen, it may not. 5 minutes still is kind of messy here, especially with this bar here, and we've got all this chop and movement back and forth. So that's what I'm thinking right now. That could change. I mean, there could be something where we break support, come down low, and I'd be looking for a short then on a retest. But right now, that's what my bias is toward. As far as my strength of the conviction, I'm kind of 60-40 on it. So again, this is a day where we saw some big whips back and forth yesterday. And so today's a day where I wouldn't be surprised if there is kind of a big whippy move, some chop back and forth, like some volatile chop back and forth. So just looking at price action from yesterday, wouldn't be surprising if the chart is looking bullish, people get in it, pushes up a little bit higher, and then it just slams them right back down if we get up into this area here. So not just totally committed to holding something long on a day like today. So there we go. NASDAQ just came up to its overnight high. S&P came up to here, took that little spike out. Now it's coming back in. So that's not surprising that it pulled back a little bit as NASDAQ pulled off. So we got 20 more seconds until our 5-minute bar closes. Yeah, let me pull the 5-minute back up. This is what I was referencing right here. So just about 2 minutes ago, this is like a doji, just wasn't looking that strong. We'll watch it here. So again, 80 is kind of our level to be mindful of. So we'll watch and see what the 1 minute does down here, and we'll see if there's an opportunity to get long down here. Now on this one, I would almost rather get long. So if we hold above this, I'd almost rather get long up here around like 82 or so versus trying to catch it down here, because again, it's just a day where we could come down and just flush guys out to the downside. So keep an eye on that. We'll know when we see it. $15-minute, back to what I was saying, just kind of messy, kind of all over the place. We'll see if it holds this level here. So I'm doing my best to be, in fact, the no FOMO trader, right? Don't have any fear of missing out. The market will set up. It'll come to you. It'll be pretty plain and obvious what it may do at a certain level that you like. So my bigger thing is just overall context, referring to the daily, referring to a 15-minute chart, having that 30,000 foot view in mind as I'm watching the market, thinking what should happen, certainly on a trade, knowing once I get in it where I'm wrong. Those are very important questions that we've got to ask ourselves, and we need the answer to it as well. We have to know where we're wrong when we take a trade. All right, let's see if the bulls can get some buyers in here. I don't know if they can one way or the other. I'm not taking a position right here. Got another minute and a half until the 5-minute bar closes. Just sort of commentating at the moment. Not really involved just yet, which is fine. No big deal. So when we're trading, there's 3 positions we can take, right? We can be long, we can be buyers, we can be short, we can be sellers, or we can be flat. We can have no position on. And that's where I find myself right now. I'm just flat, waiting for more market-generated information until I pull the trigger and make a decision one way or the other. It's been interesting to watch gold lately move pretty correlated to the S&P 500. It's been interesting. I'm guessing that top up here that we put in this level, probably yesterday's like value area high. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So that was a nice short there for sure. If you got short here, and NASDAQ was right at its overnight high as well, probably getting to the upper part of value. So it was a nice one if you took it. All right, let's watch this here. 5 minute. Still just kind of ugly. Not a lot going on here. Not a lot of market structure that I'm excited about looking at this here. So earlier I did mention we could come up if we do pull back. It might be a sign to get in and to get bullish, to go long. I am not in that camp just yet. However, I feel like I could take one here, and then I'd be wrong below 62. We'll see. We'll see what that gets us. I'll go ahead and try it right here. Oops. Okay. Let's see. I'll try it, and we're wrong below this 62 half level. Kind of a little bit dicey here. But we'll see if NASDAQ can hold up. Right now it's, what's it, 911. I want to see it hold this level here, and so far it's not looking too great. Probably should have been a bit more patient on that, but we'll give it a little wiggle room here. NASDAQ coming down to an area that could be support. So we'll see if they make us sweat on this one. And this is one too where I'm not going to be committed to it long term. So if I see something I don't like, I may bail on it. But got a hard stop in down here. We really need to see it get above this 72 to 75 level for there to be any strength. So I'm going to move my stops up a bit on this one. If we can get up above 75, I'll move my stop up to this area here. Let's see if we can push it a little bit higher here. There we go. I'm going to scale out of a little bit right here. Not much. All right, so we need to take that 75 out. There we go. Looking better. I'm scaling out of a little bit more right there. I'm going to move my stop up quite a bit closer now. Just going to put my stop right here at the low, down at 66.5. If it gets down to there, I don't want it. Don't want it. All right, so NASDAQ came down on what could be some support. Again, for me, this is a bit more of a dicey play, kind of, just because of the back and forth with the S&P, not looking that organized and structured. But if we can get up here to 80, that's a big if. But if we can get up to here and hold that level, then I think there'd be a good chance that we can pop a little bit higher. So right now I'm still in 70% of my original position. I've got my stop right below here. I don't want it if it comes and gets lower than that. Flip a coin on this one, I feel. I don't have a lot of confidence in it. A little bit more risky. But we'll give it a little time, little room. So we got up to 75 there, 76. But the market structure on this is still just terrible. It's ugly. I'm pleased with having a stop right here, right at that level. So on the 5 minute, we want to see it hold this area, right? We want to see it hold here, get back up above here. This is looking like it has been support for a little while now, but very likely could just take out the rest of what I got on. On this one, it would just be a scratch. I did get profitable on the trade, but I'm still holding 70% of it, and I got in right here at this level, right at 70, and I'm giving it to this level down here. So good risk to reward when you consider that, I'm getting in, was initially risking down to here. We came up here, and so I moved my stop up, figuring that I'd like to see it try to get up to here and then potentially higher. So we'll see how that's looking. But again, looking at the 5 minute here, we need to see this area hold in order to show any kind of confirmation. NASDAQ right now is looking weak. It's just hanging out, not doing much of anything. Did come down to some support and had a bounce off of it, and now it's right back down to that level where it bounced. So I'm not getting short here. I'm not flipping on the position, but in my mind, it's just not looking too promising just yet. But we'll give it a shot. We'll see if we can get above the 75 and then up here into 80 somewhere. So just kind of struggling, flailing. Let's see if there's anything noteworthy here. I'll just kind of draw on charts sometimes to see if there's something I see that makes sense. So we definitely have kind of a wedge going here. Right, we've got this and this, so the question is, where's it going to break out to? What side? And that's the part where we flip a coin. Who knows? It's anybody's guess. All right, new 5-minute bar, looking weak here, looking like we'll take that out. And I'm just ticks away. Okay, I'm stopped out of that one, so I'm out. I'm done. See if that 65 holds. I'm going to try one more here. I'll try it against this low right here. Not getting it just yet. I'm going to flatten. I'm out. So that was just a scratch. Yeah, reason for being, boy, there is support at 65 there. So there's support, but we're just kind of pushing lower here. What was support, it's now just getting weaker and weaker, pushing through it. This will be the level to watch if we can hold 62 or not. But again, it could be kind of a early morning with some chops, so I'm just gonna sit back, relax, try to relax, let the market come to me, show me what it wants to do. But right now we've got just kind of cascading that move down. Got another minute and a half until the 5-minute bar closes. So right now, this 65 is kind of our line in the sand. 65, we're down to here. That's today's opening range right here. Also, yesterday I mentioned that it was an area that we just couldn't pierce. We just couldn't get through it. I don't see much just yet, though. NASDAQ getting a little bit of a pop here. But I still just don't know what the market's trying to do. Earlier in the day, I thought maybe we'd have kind of a, well, I call it like a curl, where we test 65, hold it for a while, and then try to push above it. So that's something that may develop as the day goes on. I will not be around for that. I'll only be around until about 10 or 10:30. So that's kind of to be determined there. So nothing too telling just yet for me with the market or the movement of it. 15-minute, we've got this wedge. So here's our support, 65. We keep coming in lower, lower, lower. But yesterday was a doji day on the daily chart. So, yeah. Right? Indecision. Indecision. I got to remind myself too that a day, making $50 is better than a day of losing 400. So sometimes if it's not there to trade, you just got to sit and wait, which is all right. So who knows, at this point, we could just go ahead and boost higher. Or we could push lower. It's hard to say one way or the other. In the words of Mark Douglas, we've got to remember that something can happen and anything will happen. Right? It's good to remember that. Good to remember little Marky D. Something can happen and anything will happen. And if we remember that, we're in good shape. So yeah, here, this is a day that I'm just concerned about getting chopped up. I'm looking for nuances, but even here I thought, oh, we've come down here, held it, pushed, hold this level, maybe I'll get long here, but I know better than that. Today's a day where FOMO could get the better of me, so I'm just going to sit back and wait. Again, a day that's a scratch or making a tiny bit, it's better than a day where you lose a lot. So if I'm not seeing anything setting up that I like, that I'm excited about, I'm just going to sit back and wait. NASDAQ still quite messy looking at the 15-minute chart, right? Oops. Here's our 15-minute on NASDAQ, and what are we doing? I don't know. We're lower low, higher high, low here, high here, so we're kind of just coiling. All right, let's see if we can get above that level. Watching 65 there. Watch and see what we do. I'm tempted to get along, but I'm not. Get along with myself, but not get into alone. So, yeah, this is where guys are just getting chopped up right now. So even on this push, I thought, oh, I'll try a long right here, but I didn't, which I'm glad I didn't. Yesterday's a doji. Today we're just hanging out right at that 65 level. Could be support, could be resistance. It's anyone's guess. Maybe we hold it, maybe we don't. Let's see what the market's trying to tell us. All right, put a new 15-minute bar in. NASDAQ coiling 2. Let's see if we get some strength here. All right, this could be it. This might be it. A little bit of a move here. I think I'll trade this one. I'm gonna buy it, and I'm out if we get below this level right here. Could be a chop fest for me. Could be some chop suey. We'll see. We shall see. Oh boy. I'm going to sell just a tiny bit right here. Let's see if I'm an early responder, early adopter, if it pays off. NASDAQ coiling 2. So I've got a tight enough stop on this one where I feel like I'll give it some room, see what it wants to do. Okay, I'm out here as well of a little bit more. Stops right down here. NASDAQ was coiling. Looked like it might have wanted to push higher there. All right, pretty close on this one being stopped out. Pretty ugly bars so far. We've got a minute and a half on the 5 minutes, so that's not great. Was seeing it move higher and thought, okay, if we can, get above that 72 level and hold, that'd be good. So really need to see a strong bar here on the 5 minute above that level. Could just continue to be a chop fest. So we will watch. Decent risk to reward again though. If we do hold this, we get up to here. I'm really not risking much. Looking to push up here. Coiling, and if we do get strong, we might even get up to 80 and then, could see somewhere up into the mid 80s. So I'll try it. Not falling in love with this trade though, that is for darn sure. All right. NASDAQ not looking that strong. Let's see if the E-mini can pull it up. I've got one trailing stop right below this 66 level. So we need to get up here and hold it. We've got a half minute left on the 5 minutes. So Ideally, we see the 5 minute, like I was saying, get above this and close. If it can close higher, that'd be a good sign to me that we can get a little strength, get some buyers involved, and try to make a higher high. So we'll see. So far, I've been 0 for 2. Well, both of them, it's just a scratch. Haven't made anything, haven't lost anything. Trying to get a feel for what the market could do or wants to do, and it's just been a tricky scenario. So let's see if this is enough to get some bulls involved right here. See if we can curl up and push higher. Nasdaq's still not showing that much strength. It's just kind of hanging in there, kind of hanging out. Alright, so let's see. We'll give this one a little bit of time to set up. Looking at the 15 minute. Again, if we can get up and push a little bit higher with the 15 minute, that could be our support. So we're looking a little bit better here now. Nothing to get excited about though. Got to give above that 75. Let's see if we can do that. Nasdaq right in the middle of its overnight range. Yeah. I'm gonna sell a little bit more right there. All right, so I'm still in 70% of my original position. Stop's going to be right down here. All right, let's see. Let's see if this is where the buyers are adding now. Let's see if they can get some commitment here. It seems like a good place to add right here. I'm not adding any. No, sir. Here's the 15 minute, looking decent here. So it'd be nice if we can negate this wedge. So 65 is holding, at least for the time being. See if we can get some buyers to step in, keep it above 70, certainly above the high 60s, and then see if we can get some continuation. Nasdaq still, though, it's really not joining the party. Well, there isn't a party yet for the bulls. It's just kind of hanging out. Just hanging out. So, let's see. There we go. Okay. Gotta hold that 65 level. What's my level here? Let's see. Oh, 65. Oh, here we go. 57. All right. All right. Much ado about nothing. So again, I haven't been wrong in my assessment of the market. And therefore, I probably should have just stayed out of this thing. This is ugly right here. Got the 15-minute trying to push up and then just getting slammed right back down. Pretty close to taking my stop out here. Dangerously close. Let's see. All right, taken out. It's out. There it goes. That's it. That's all she wrote. All she wrote. Now it's getting ugly. Okay, so here we go. Up to 47 or 4475. Like I mentioned earlier, I thought today's the day where we could see some people try to get involved to the long side or any side and then flush them out. Looks like that has been just that. So I had good risk to reward there. Got long at 70, took some off the table here. I did hold it for a tiny loser here, thinking if we could hold 65, it would remain strong, push back up. It's interesting how quickly things can change as far as how the market is looking. At this point now, I might be looking for a short. So we'll see what it does here and then consider, well, we'll just have to wait and see what the market does. So now there was that flush, couldn't get above it. So just a few minutes ago on the 15-minute, this was looking good, looking like we might hold 65, push up through it. NASDAQ still, though, it wasn't really committed to looking like it was strong to the upside. So both markets now just bumping their overnight low. Just bumping that overnight low. Good amount of movement there in just the past 5 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we've seen a 20-point move on the S&P, so it's pretty significant. So we're just back down to that range. Probably close to yesterday's value area low. This one here is a hard one for me to take a short on. Just because of this here. So with that lower end lower end of the extreme. Take a look at gold real quick. Gold's shaping up a bit. Silver still got to get involved. Let's look at some other ones. That was looking decent. Let's watch the GC. Here's gold. I'm just keeping an eye on it. Looking like it could get kind of strong today. Gold, boy, that one's been a head faker lately. Head faker lately. Silver, let's watch it. Well, I wonder if this is gold's week. Today, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, we'll see if gold can shape up. All right. Oh boy. I'll be back. Well, it's anyone's guess at this point. Long could be taken here against overnight low. Wouldn't be too shabby. But again, just because of market structure that I've talked about and mentioned, I'm not too excited about getting involved right there. So I think for today, this might be it for me. I'm going to take a look at some other charts where I've got longer term positions on gold and silver miners, see what they're doing, see if they're behaving, and go from there. I wish happy trading to everyone. This could be bullish here if we get a push above it. But then we've got to contend with 65 for our resistance. So again, earlier in the day I mentioned just tempo of the market. We've got to consider the tempo, what the market's doing, what it's trying to do. So both NASDAQ and S&P took out their overnight lows. They pushed below it, and then whoever was short, knew to get out, take profit at that level, and that's what they did. And so I'll watch this one now and see if we get any upward movement, upward momentum. There we go. So shorts are coming in, pushing it right back down, which wasn't a bad trade. Initially, when this came lower, I thought the place to short would be right around here. We'll see if they get any kind of follow through and can do anything with this here. But again, we're just in this area, so hard to say, hard to know. This is one where it seems like later in the day something might develop as far as the market choosing a direction and going with it. I will not be around for that. I'm going to be turning off here pretty soon. Gotta get on my way. But that's that. Let me look through a few charts here. No, let me switch my screen. Let's take a look here. I'm just going to change the chart that I'm looking at. So here's one here. There's quite a few of these gold and silver miners that I'm excited about longer term, more of a macro play. I'm in all these that I'm going through. But this is one where I think we've got a beautiful potential for like a cup and handle. This is AG is the name of the company, First Majestic Silver. So we've got this lower base put in here, and I'd like to see it kind of hold this level and then go ahead and push further up. I'm in that one. Let's look at another one. This is Fortuna Silver Mines. Really with this one, I'm going to expand it definitely on a low. For this to stay strong, I want to see it, really need to see it get and stay within this range here until it pushes higher. So I tell you, as inflationary as everything has been, I feel like gold and silver miners could have a nice pop. They already have, but I feel like they could continue further. This is Barrick Gold, ticker symbol GOLD. Got a really nice wedge forming here. So initially, I liked this here, how it was just holding it, and was involved here around 20. This is my first target, but the chart was looking so strong, I never took off any here. In fact, I added some right around the low 22s. We've come up here, and then we're looking like we could pretty soon, whether it's a few days or weeks, we'll see, but break above this level and then continue on higher. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is one we've got to zoom way out. Looks like we could continue higher, get up into this 27 area, and then maybe even push higher from there. So let's take a look at another one. Here's the daily. Let me get here. This is MAG silver. I don't know what MAG stands for. Big run up, big push up there. And like to see it hold this area here. Came up. Hopefully we consolidate here and then get a bit of a move higher. PAAS, this is a larger silver miner. Tons of, let's see, let me zoom out on this one. A lot of action, right, like in this area here. A lot of action. This was last year where it looked like we were forming a really nice base and cup here, and then we were going to push out. That's when everyone was talking. This is when all the meme stocks were just flying, going through the ceiling, and there was a lot of talk that silver was going to hit, 40 or somewhere in the 40s, something like that, which it didn't. It since has come down. Looking now, though, like it's basing and then trying to push through this and get back up into this range. So that one's looking pretty good as well. But longer term time frame, been holding that one for a little while now. But looks pretty nice. Looks like it's kind of trying to wedge here. Hopefully we can get up into here and then push further. But again, these are macro plays. I'm just looking at S&P now. It's really come up quite a bit. Here's silver miners, SIL. And then we've got Wheaton precious metals. Same thing here. Let me zoom out, look at the 3-year. So yeah, it looks like S&P really came up and pushed nice. So this one's looking pretty good too. Let me zoom this out. Where we've got longer term basing pattern. Broke this here. What was resistance is now support. Kind of trying, it's both flagging and putting in what could be like a cup and handle. So I look for this one to get up into here and then potentially even run higher. We'll have to watch it and see what it does up there. So that's that. Let's go back to the S&P real quick. Let me zoom in on this guy. So I was way zoomed out. Oh, what do you know? Nothing's happened. Stuff's happened in the short term, just the micro view, but really not that much. So let me go back to the 1 minute, kind of zoom this back in. All right, here's our 1 minute. So came down to the overnight low, had a nice pop off of that, came up, held that 60 level, then got back above 65 and even up to 70. So good move there on that one for sure. Still pretty messy on the 15 minute. It's anyone's guess. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me. I wish everyone a happy day, happy trading. Be safe, set your stops in place, know where you're right, know where you're wrong, know that there's going to be another trade coming through. You just never know when. You got to be patient. So best of luck.